So talk to me about, it's filming already by the way, talk to me about the planning that you did over the winter time.
So you just dropped his ball down the drain?
Yeah. I can feel it, but I can't get it.
Don't do it again, silly dog.
This week has been our 6-month farm anniversary here. The last 3 or 4 months of that being winter. And when we first came here back in late summer, early autumn, the place looked very, very different. And so, although there was the vision and the dreams of what it was to become many years down the line, winter was very much a time for getting ready for spring. And that was really about working out what was achievable, what could be done, what infrastructure we would need in place, what we had the skills and resources to be able to do, what materials we had here, and really just thinking about those first things that we were going to want to do in spring, and making sure that we had everything possible available to do that. We knew that what we were doing up here, the prime focus of it was going to be food growing. So we knew that would involve some raised beds in whatever shape or form. That acquired the name the market garden. We knew that we wanted some form of forest garden. So we knew there was going to be lots of edible things round about, a mixture of things that might be foraged from the wild and a mixture of things that we had planted on purpose to be able to harvest here. And through winter afforded us the time to go and do the research, to go and see how much that deer fencing would cost, to go and work out what size of polytunnel we thought we should use, we should get, to work out what kind of shape our market garden should take, or what kind of things that we already had or we could easily get to go in the forest garden. In addition to that, I guess I continued building compost. I continued shoveling horse manure, wood shavings and sheep's wool.
Cue lots of montage of shoveling lots of stuff. So, what have you been doing this winter?
What have we been doing this winter? Well, it's weird because it's spring now, so you have to think back to winter. We are really keen to observe the land as much as possible, and particularly with kind of our permaculture hats on, really wanted to watch what the land and what the environment was telling us about this land. And so we did a lot of observing of the weather, and Jude got a weather station installed, and amazing information and data that comes off that weather station. But we looked really closely at kind of frost patterns, wind patterns of the whole farm, and pairing that up with all of the soil sampling that we'd done before as well. We started to pull together a kind of picture of if we wanted a forest garden, if we wanted a market garden and things like that, where they would be best placed. So I did a lot of those surveys and added them into the design, and then Jude and I had some really good chats about what we wanted to get individually from this place and what we wanted it to do for us, because for this place to be sustainable, it's got to work for the people as well who are involved. Yes, we want it to be beneficial to the environment, but we want it to be beneficial to us as well. And so, taking into account the kind of first design that we did, some things were changed because actually some of it wasn't going to work. You know, I'd love to have loads and loads of animals, and Jude would love to have loads of animals, but it doesn't fit into our lifestyle at the moment, and it doesn't fit into our timetables of our lives at the moment. And we had to think about positioning of activities, working out where future volunteers would move between and where they would have hangout space and things like that. And that was really informative to help us work out where we were going to site things. And so we were able to divide up, right, we're going to work on the forest garden, right, we're going to work on the market garden. And Jude has done some amazing designs of the market garden, and I got my head into forest garden designing, which I've never done before, but it's really interesting, and it's felt really good this spring now that it's properly started to start creating physically things on the ground instead of just the designing and the thinking and the researching, but actually planting and building, and it's becoming real, which is really nice. So at the moment we're in lockdown still, and for the first few weeks of lockdown I didn't come to the farm because we weren't sure how it would work. Jude and I worked out safe kind of processes of how we could work together. So we've now got a camp kitchen for me, we've got a compost loo for me as well, so I'm not going into Jude's house anymore. And we are keeping our distance from each other, and being as clean and as safe as we can be, whilst still continuing to work on developing the farm, because we both believe that producing food is really essential at this time, and it's going to become more and more important, we think, over the coming months and years. And so it was worth this time investing in it and really working on it and getting it started so that we can get good food from this land this year. The farm sits within a community of lots of different farms and houses and stuff in this area, and during this time of real food insecurity, which everybody has felt around the whole country, if not the whole world, then we can become part of a kind of local system of resilience and of helping each other, even without necessarily seeing each other, can be part of this network of food and community and self-sufficiency in a way.
So one of my first lockdown activities was to take some cuttings from where it all began, from the little vegetable garden that was here when we came to the farm. There's some really big, strong, well-established blackcurrant bushes there. I was doing some reading, doing some research one day, and had read in a book that springtime was the time to take cuttings from all of these plants. And it's not something I've ever done before, but I decided that I should give it a try and not miss the opportunity. So because I'm a person that doesn't do things by half, I took about 100, and here they are. We've got all our tall blackcurrant cuttings, which you can see here, most of which have good little leaves coming on them now. There's only a few in there that I think aren't showing much signs of life. There's maybe 2 that aren't so happy, but I think most of them are doing okay. So here in this grey fish crate, we've got blackthorn cuttings, which came a lot later than the cuttings of the blackcurrant and the gooseberry. So these guys were only planted maybe 2 weeks ago, which was a lot later. But again, most of them seem to have little green buds on them and be doing okay. In this orange crate, we have a mixture of things. We have 4 little josta berries here, these little guys, which have been given to me by a neighbouring farmer who took cuttings off their josta berry bush, and so I've traded with her these 4 josta berries for 4 of our little blackcurrant cuttings, which she was keen to get. And here in these polythene ones, these are all little blueberry cuttings. So these blueberry cuttings tend to happen at a different time of year, and I think these guys probably will need to stay in our cold frame for quite some time yet before they can be planted out. Just last week I found these guys, which were an awesome little surprise that I wasn't expecting, but there's clearly been some rhubarb grown here in the past, and so finding these 2 little rhubarb crowns was an absolute bonus.